In any city, in any country, go to any nightclub you can get yourself to. When you reach the bar, ask with no hesitation to visit someone who calls himself the holder of passion. The barman will blush and daydream. You will have to ask 2 more times until he finally nods and gestures you to follow him. He will lead you into a hallway. You will hear a muffled diesel engine, but for the moment it does not matter. Ignore it for now. Instead, listen to any whispering you hear. If it stops, it is vital for your sanity that you shut your eyes, for a horrifying creature will emerge from the ground and after a short time leave through the ceiling. Should you hear the whispers in unknown languages until you and the barman reach a door made from stone, you are safe. Now listen to the engine. If it keeps running, proceed and open the door. Do not even try to imagine what happens when the engine stops. Nobody has ever been able to tell after it has stopped. Now, if the door has been opened, the worker will leave you alone. Enter the door and walk straight forward until it closes. Now you have to say the words, "Excuse me, I'd like to learn from you." If you did anything wrong, you will be dead before you even realize it. So do not worry much about this. Should nothing happen for several dozen seconds, you may resume walking. Do this until you reach a heart that is as big as your head. Do not touch it. Instead, turn around. You will see either the most beautiful woman or the most horrific creature your eyes have ever witnessed. The latter only appears if you have touched the still beating heart. Its sight alone will almost drive you insane and haunt you for the rest of your life. Should you see the woman, look at her eyes, nowhere else, even if she takes off the dress she's wearing. The beauty will literally blind you, and you will be forced to wander around in her realm until the end of your life. If you are able to keep looking at her eyes, you may ask one question: are they alive? The woman will suddenly moan soundly and lay down on the ground completely naked. Then she will start trying to seduce you. You must now quickly close your eyes and hold your ears shut with your hands, as her moaning will slowly destroy your mind and body, should you hear it clearly. After some time, you will feel someone touch your right shoulder. You may now open your eyes and lower your hands. Do not turn around to whoever touched you. Instead, look at where the woman was. She will now be gone. Only ash is what is left of her. Search within the ash for her uterus. Take it and close your eyes. Open them again after you felt something cold touch your head. You will be back in the nightclub, behind the barman who guided you to the stone door. The uterus is object 18 of 538. It has 1 child left to bear. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself to. When you reach the front desk, ask with no hesitation to visit someone who calls herself the holder of innocence. The worker will say nothing, but a single tear should fall from her eye. She will guide you to a forgotten hallway in an abandoned wing of the rundown institution. She will not enter the hall with you, but will only look into your eyes with a cautious hope, her own expression seeming to beg for salvation. Should you enter the hall, you will not see much, save for the dirty, broken fragments of what were once beautifully carved ivory statuettes. Before long, you will hear a soft whimper from the other side. Pay close attention, for if the whimper stops, then all hope is already lost. There is no use in running away. As you turn the handle of the simple wooden door on the other side, a warm and cozy light will greet your face. You will find yourself in the bedroom of a young girl of 18 years. The girl herself will be sitting cross-legged on the floor at the foot of the bed, her only garment an open nightrobe, exposing the entirety of her pure body. She is the source of the tortured whimpers, and nothing you say to console her will end her torrent of stifled wails. Only, if you ask her, what happened when it was first created, she will become silent to glance up towards your face. Her beauty will render you breathless, and if you are still capable of any thought, it will be only the realization that in her, you see everything in this world that you truly love. Suddenly, you will realize that the girl is bleeding from her nether regions as a grotesque phallus emerges from the petite orifice between her legs. The object will pulsate with its own life, and you will find that it is hypnotizing you. Do not look away, for you do not wish to try its patience. Soon, the room will disappear before your eyes, and you will be standing in the most serene clearing you have ever witnessed. And all of nature's fauna that you recognize will go about their lives around you, with no fear of anything, not even death. Suddenly, though, a shadow will fall over the meadow, and you will witness the forest all around burst into a pillar of flame. What happens next, no man can dwell on for long before going insane, but in the strength of the human mind you will endure. In the end, you will hear screams and moans and groans, but what will overcome you more than anything are the quiet whimpers, the stifled cries, of all the sullied innocence of the world that was. You realize that these cries will continue to be heard all across the globe until the world's end. None can endure those near-silent pleas, and still maintain the slightest hope for the future. The illusion will fade, and you will find yourself back in the room. You will find the girl lying dead on the floor, her face a mixture of agony and horror, her already decaying body feeding the now towering phallus and giving it a sinister glow. That is object 19 of 538. If you touch it, then it will be yours. But if you let it master you, then it will use your body to seek and assemble all the pieces, no matter what the cost. In any city, in any country, go to an old clock in a bustling square you can get yourself to. Wait until midnight, and as the clock strikes 12, listen attentively as the bell tolls exactly 20 times on its own. Then, make your way to the entrance of the clock tower, knock on the door 3 times and say it out loud. I wish to visit the holder of time. After the 3 knocks, the door will open by itself, revealing a spiral staircase that leads into the depths of time. Descend carefully, as each step echoes the sound of past seconds and will make you question your own existence. Upon reaching the bottom of the staircase, you will enter a dark and silent chamber. The only source of light will be a giant clock in the center of the room, ticking incessantly. Standing before the clock will be an elderly man with a white beard and wise eyes. Approach the man and ask him the following question. What will happen when time comes to an end? He will remain silent for a moment, studying your expression and the sincerity of your question. If he detects any hint of doubt or selfishness in your voice, your fate will be sealed, and you will be trapped in the temporal flow forever. If the man deems your question worthy, he will smile and begin to tell a story. He will describe the ages that have passed, from the beginning of time to the imminent end, revealing the hidden secrets of each era and the catastrophes that have shaped humanity. You will be transported through time, witnessing past and future events, feeling the joy, pain, and weight of responsibility for your choices. When the story comes to an end, you must hand over your broken hourglass, object number 13 in your possession, to the elderly man. He will carefully repair it with his skilled hands. The giant clock in the room will start to emit a gentle glow, as if coming back to life. At this moment, you will face a crucial choice. The elderly man will look deeply into your eyes and say, the pursuit of the objects is a heavy burden, filled with dangers and sacrifices. You can choose to continue searching for them and face the fate that awaits the seekers. Or you can choose to abandon this journey, forget everything that has happened so far, and follow a different path. If you decide to continue the quest, the man will share additional knowledge about the objects and the challenges you will encounter along the way. He will provide crucial guidance for the next object you must seek. However, if you choose to abandon the quest, the man will nod in approval and say, you have chosen wisely. There are many other paths to follow in this vast existence. Forget what you witnessed here and live a life free from the shackles of the objects. Regardless of your choice, the elderly man will smile at you and wish you luck in your future journeys. As you walk away from the chamber, ascending the spiral staircase, the giant clock will gradually dim its glow until it is once again immersed in darkness. The decision to continue or abandon the search for the objects and the knowledge you have gained are now part of your personal story. The fate of the world and the balance of time remain in the hands of those who choose to face this quest. The repaired hourglass is the object 20 of 538. In any city, in any country, go to any mental institution or halfway house you can get yourself to. When you reach the front desk, ask to visit someone who calls himself the holder of rage. The person will appear shy as they show you to a door, and then walk away. When you enter the door, you will be looking down a staircase that descends into darkness. As you descend the stairs, you will begin to hear screams. The screams will come from a throat of indeterminate origin. If the screaming stops at any time, shout to the darkness, "Resume your business. I do not wish to intrude." If the screaming does not come back, there is nothing you can do, for you will be dead before you know what happens. If the screaming continues, you may move on. Eventually, you will see light coming through the cracks in a door. Go through this door, and you will be in what appears to be a medieval dungeon. Hollowed-out skulls filled with candles serve as lanterns, and skeletons line the walls. There will be a wooden table in front of a fire inside a fireplace. On this table there is a severed head, staring ahead with glassy eyes. Step up to the table and look the head in the eyes. In a clear, commanding voice ask, who will stop them from coming together? The head will look you in the eyes and tell you the tale of a man. She will tell you his entire story, from his violent birth to what he is doing that very moment. His deeds will be recounted in horrifying detail. He is a murderer of which the likes have never been seen, and he is just as mad. If at the end of the story, the head tells you he is listening to our conversation, you will be dragged out of the room and never be heard from again. You will experience all of the most horrifying things ever conceived, and you will be kept alive until you have experienced them all. If she tells you he is elsewhere, he is now looking for you. He will not stop until you are dead or the objects come together. She will tell you to pick her up. Pick the head up by the hair and look at the table where she was. Sitting there will be a needle, covered in dried blood and countless unidentifiable substances. That needle is the object 21 of 538. The hunt has begun and the clock is ticking.